Hello, everyone. It is Friday, July 14th. You're watching This Day. I'm Michael Taylor. We've got a great show for you today. Let's get right to it. We have folks from the Concerned Citizen Club coming up. They are going to have a very, very interesting guest on in their next meeting they're going to want to tell you about. Stay tuned. You're not going to miss that. Then we're going to go out to the Sports Corner with Cole Young, and we're going to wrap up the show today with the Music Lovers Club, some Night Under the Stars, some real fun things they have going on. Hey, you want to stay informed? We have some openings, some opportunities coming up on the for the board over there at 3rd Laguna Hills Mutual. They need some candidates. So if you are interested in being a candidate, you want to serve, go ahead and make sure you get a hold of them. Pick up the application in the CEO office over at the community center. And there are 4 seats available, and the term ends in 2026. Let's take a look outside. Let's take a look at the weather. It's already clear out there. It's going to be like this for the rest of the week, for the foreseeable future. We have got some warm temperatures. There's been some fog along the coast, marine layer haze, whatever you want to call it, but it's really pulled back very quickly in the mornings, and it's going to be in the 80s for the rest of the foreseeable future. Lots and lots of sunshine. Let's take a look at the sunrise and sunset. We have a great shot of Dana Point Harbor out there, looking great. That's a great place to go cool off, go to the beach, head out there. Sunrise was 5:51, sunset 8:02. If you're interested in sending us a picture of your own, why don't you guys do that? We have a great opportunity here. Laguna Woods Village TV at gmail.com. Send us your pictures of beautiful shots from around Orange County. Make sure you take the picture horizontally, as you see in the bottom right corner of your screen there, how that person's holding their camera, so we can use it on the air. Make sure you send us your name and where you took the picture, and we will get it on the air for you right here for our sunrise, sunset shots. That'll be fun. Okay, we got some meetings to show you, and then when we come back, Concerned Citizens. Stay with us.
At Healing Hearts Emergency Animal Hospital, we are dedicated to emergency veterinary care through high-quality veterinary services and compassion. We offer state-of-the-art diagnostics at competitive pricing. Our doctors will see and care for dogs, cats, and most exotics. In case of emergency, rest assured Healing Hearts Emergency is here for you when your primary veterinarian is closed. Open nights, weekends, and all major holidays.
The Salvation Army Orange County is committed to building hope in people's lives rather than just more shelters. The Center of Hope, a comprehensive homeless care solution, combines a 325-bed emergency shelter, 72 permanent supportive housing apartments, on-site medical, dental, vision, and mental health care, and an award-winning drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. Donate today to transform lives, create safer neighborhoods, and provide an opportunity to end chronic homelessness in Orange County.
Achieve a level of comfort you've never known before. The Daydreamer will take you through smooth movements and guide you effortlessly into your favorite positions. Adjust the power pillow for ideal support for your head and neck. This and our positioning technology allows for infinite relaxation. Lay back in zero gravity while watching TV and put your body and mind at ease. Lift your spirits and find your favorite daydream. Contact your local Golden retailer today.
Dr. Farhumand and her associates at Brilliant Smile are excited to announce we now feature cone beam computed tomography. CBCT scans have many benefits over traditional x-rays. They are fast, safe, non-invasive, and provide better care to our patients. The 3D images provide an accurate view of teeth, bones, and soft tissue. It allows us to diagnose and treat more effectively. Also, it features modern diagnosing of sleep apnea by checking the airways and obstructions. Get started today. Call Brilliant Smile, Laguna Woods Village favorite dentist.
Suzanne Modell and Jonathan Adler with the Concerned Citizen Club, and they have a great guest coming up that you're not going to want to miss. First, I want to say hello and tell us a little bit about what Concerned Citizen Club is.
Well, Concerned Citizens is a 42-year-old kind of political and social issue club. It's nonpartisan. We don't support any candidates, and we don't have any affiliation with a party, but we look at particular issues, and we do support one or another side on an issue.
Okay.
And we basically are educational in our goals. We have speakers. Sometimes sometimes our speakers are right here from the village, and we have book reviews. And in a sense, today, we're hyping a program that's a cross of the two. It's kind of going to be a book review, but it's a major speaker as well.
So Jonathan, tell us a little bit about your guest speaker that you're going to be doing this via Zoom, but it's certainly a big name that most Orange County people are very familiar with.
Well, this is his book, and I just finished reading it. It's one of the most amazing books I've ever read on this or any other
And it's
topic.
called Worse Than Nothing.
It's called Worse Than Nothing, The Dangerous Fallacy of Originalism, which coincidentally is the exact
By
same.
Erwin Chereminsky, we should probably say his name at some point.
Dean, UC Berkeley Dean, formerly the founding dean of UC Irvine Law
Right.
School, Erwin Chereminsky. And you start introducing this as you won't want to miss this. And those very words have been on our flyer for years and years. Don't miss it, people say, because that is what they say. Erwin was our first and second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth year's speaker when we started our annual Supreme Court term review. And people loved him so much, and he loved how our audience, how informed and educated they are, and what good questions they asked him, that they kept inviting each other back, and I invited Erwin back. And so he is one of the nation's really most prominent academic and practicing commentators on the Supreme Court. So that's what the topic is. And and Erwin is just absolutely great. People love him. Thank you.
And Suzanne, it's kind of his argument against the concept of originalism that a lot of conservative members of the court have come to really represent.
Yes, that's right. He is trying to take on the idea that originalism is a plausible doctrine on which to decide cases. And among the points that he makes is that it's not really, it's a bit like interpreting the Bible. You know how many of us disagree about the Bible, even though we're kind of looking at the same things? Well, I think he would say that it's really difficult to know what was in the minds of the framers when they wrote these words, and that the words are written in such a way that they actually support a multiplicity of interpretations. That's at least one of the points. He has several points, but that's one of his major ones.
And Jonathan, I can see you're ready to jump in.
Whatever. I have never seen a debunking, a takedown of a whole school of thought, a theory about interpreting, in this case, the Constitution, than what he does. And what Erwin is absolutely fair to the originalists. He quotes the justices who happen on this current court to be Thomas, who is the originalist of all originalists,
Sure.
Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, and Alito doesn't claim that name, but he practices it, and Kavanaugh sometimes goes along with it. So there is now a majority, I mean a supermajority on the Supreme Court ready to do originalism. So Erwin quotes what they say about what originalism is, and it started a lot with Scalia, the late Justice Antonin Scalia, and before him, Robert Bork, who was Reagan's nominee in 1987 for the Supreme Court, and from whom the verb borked arose, who also happened to be my antitrust professor in law school. So between them and the Federalist Society, he quotes the academics, the judges, he gives them absolutely their fair shot at claims, and then he takes each claim one by one and kind of separates it and organizes into about a half dozen subparts, and absolutely debunks each and every claim. And the main one is that originalism is the only real theory, the only valid theory to interpret the Constitution, from which comes the main title, Worse Than Nothing, which really refers back to Scalia saying, at least we have a theory, originalism, for all its faults, which is better than you non-originalists. And Irwin begs to differ, and referring to that says, well, originalism really turns out such ludicrous results sometimes that it is worse than nothing. And that was reflected in the major decisions of last term and this term.
Suzanne, when you guys bring in guests like this and others over the years, when people come, what do they get out of it? What's the response you get from kind of exciting speakers like this and exciting topics like this?
Well, that's a great question. I would say that when things are at their best, people have new insights that they didn't have before. They have a sort of an aha feeling. And if we're on a hot topic, I'm not quite sure that the Supreme Court would render this kind of response, but if we're on a hot topic where there's some action, sometimes also what will happen is that our members of the audience will mobilize and we'll want to do something. So we may want to write some letters on the issue to our legislators, or we might want to have go down to somebody's office locally and talk to them about it. So the idea is to kind of get people to think a little bit further.
Right. Take a deeper dive, and I think the world of social media, Facebook, and all those kinds of things, it becomes this echo chamber where I'm only hearing the things I want to hear. So I think a group like Concerned Citizens can really bring all sorts of perspectives. Like you guys say, you're nonpartisan in a sense, but you're really just kind of putting people out there with the information they have, right, Jonathan? It's like, here's an opportunity to just hear a deeper dive on a subject.
That reminds me of a quote from Oliver Wendell Holmes, the great justice that I referred to as I was reading this. And he said, young people know the rules, old people know the exceptions from the rules. I made a page for Oliver Wendell Holmes quotes. There are just so many wonderful things. The life of the law, he said, is not logic, it is experience. And that is the essence of this concept. And the action that would arise from it, there's so much talk these days about reforming the Supreme Court. Well, after you read this, you just wonder, how can people, and that means Congress, not get into reform of the Supreme Court with this claim that it's like in the Dobbs case that overruled Roe v. Wade, and Justice Thomas Bruen case that said no regulation of concealed carry permits because he looked back to the, quote, framers,
right,
and totally botched that. And that's one of the main problems, is that turning justices into historians just does not work, because they cherry pick what they want, and they come out to the result that they want. So,
and I think the important reminder for a lot of folks as we kind of wrap things up here is that the Constitution was meant to be this living, breathing, evolving thing with the opportunity to be amended over the years. And so when we're not taking advantage of that, then it's sometimes up to the courts and those interpretations, which can be very challenging for half the country almost every time, right?
And the very word living is what gets attached to the non-originalist side. That all kinds of subsequent experience, precedent, etc., history, tradition needs to be considered, not just what the framers, whoever them was. And that's one of the problems, that there were so many people who wrote the Constitution and states that ratified it, you just can't identify.
No, it's an impossibility. Well,
Thank
Jonathan
you.
and Suzanne, thank you so much for coming on. Make sure, folks, you get out to the event they have coming up. It's going to be a great one with Irwin, and we thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And when we come back, we're going to have Sports Corner with Cole and Music Lovers Club. Stay with us.
Welcome back to this Friday's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and we missed last week due to a short week because of the 4th of July, so I'll bring you up to speed on everything that's been going on in the world of sports. The MLB has been in the All-Star break for the past week, and Monday night was one of the biggest fan favorite events, the Home Run Derby. At T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington, all eyes were on back-to-back champion Pete Alonso to make it a three-peat. But on his home field, Julio Rodriguez of the Mariners hit 41 home runs in the first round to eliminate Alonso, setting the record for most ever home runs in a single round. The crowd went absolutely insane for Rodriguez, but he was not able to make it past the second round, losing to the eventual champion, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. With his whopping 72 home runs, including 25 in the finals, Guerrero Jr. became the champion of this year's Home Run Derby. Guerrero and his Hall of Fame father and former Angels legend, Vladimir Guerrero Sr., who won it 16 years ago, are the first father-son duo to be Home Run Derby champions. The main event of the All-Star break is, naturally, the All-Star Game. The matchup of the AL and NL took place on Tuesday night, and the National League was finally able to defeat the American League in the All-Star Game to end its 9-game losing streak. Colorado Rockies catcher Elias Diaz was named the MVP of the All-Star Game after going 1 for 2 as a designated hitter, including the biggest swing of the night with his winning 2-run home run in the 8th inning. Down 3-2, the AL still had a chance to win, with 2 outs and 2 runners on base in the bottom of the 9th. But Phillies closing pitcher Craig Kimbrell was able to strike out the final batter and seal the win for the National League. The regular season resumes tonight with a full slate of games. But before I move on to that, there is a player that has been taking the league by storm. Cincinnati Reds infielder Elly De La Cruz has been the most exciting player to watch in sports the past few weeks. The 21-year-old rookie has had some incredible games and at-bats and is holding on to a .325 batting average for the season. But the biggest story surrounding De La Cruz took place just last week in a game against the Brewers. He broke a 5-5 tie with Milwaukee in the 7th inning with a 2-out RBI single, then proceeded to become the first Reds player since 1919 to steal second, third, and home in the same inning, all in just 3 pitches. For reference, stealing home is hard. In the last 50 years, 3,228 base runners have tried. Only 864, or about 27%, have crossed the plate safely. That feat alone is impressive, but doing it after stealing second and third in the same at-bat is just pure unbelievable. If you haven't been following the Reds this season, I highly suggest you pay attention to them for the rest of this year. Over on the tennis courts, the 2023 Wimbledon tournament has been going on for the past week. The semifinals for the women's bracket took place Wednesday night, and the men's singles semifinals just last night. The men's finals will be held tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., and the women's finals will be Sunday morning at 6 a.m., and we will see Ons Jabeur square off with Marketa Vondrousova. Novak Djokovic has won the previous 4 men's singles titles, and 7 overall, while Elena Rybakina, who was eliminated in the quarterfinals, is the current reigning champ on the women's side. Tune in to the excitement this weekend and see the new champions be crowned. Speaking of championships, the CONCACAF Gold Cup tournament is still going on, and the U.S. narrowly avoided elimination against Canada earlier this week. Following a dramatic 2-2 draw in extra time, the U.S. men's national team utilized 2 penalty kick saves from Matt Turner to defeat Canada 3-2 in a shootout on Sunday. With the win, the U.S. MNT advanced to face Panama in the Gold Cup semifinals on Wednesday at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego. Unfortunately, the U.S. fell just short to Panama in penalty shootouts on Wednesday night. The much-anticipated 2023 Gold Cup final between Mexico and Panama will be Sunday at 4:30 p.m. at SoFi Stadium in L.A. All of these events and so many more will make this a great weekend to watch some sports. Make sure to come right back here next Friday for some more news, updates, and highlights from all over the world of sports. I'm Cole Young. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.
Music Lovers Club and Astronomy Club are teamed up for an event we want to tell you all about. We have Bill Hemberger and Joe Camera joining us. Thank you guys for being here.
Oh, appreciate you inviting us back here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Music Under the Stars coming up. Big event, lots of fun.
Yeah, Band X and the Music Lovers Club do these monthly things, and we kind of program our intermissions with getting involved with the other clubs within the village. We've had doo-wop groups, we've had a cappella groups, jazz singers, and Joe's coming in with the Astronomy Club to give us a little intermission show, and I'm excited to hear about it.
Music Under the Stars seems to be like a great thing for the Astronomy Club to come by and do.
Yes, yeah, we're looking forward to participating. It's a first concept with the music, but the club is very interesting. We get into a lot of technical information with astronomy that's fun, but we try to socialize as well. I've been involved in a leadership position the last 2 years, and we do solstice parties to have an informal setting and kind of live the practice of unity, and we're all on this earth together and with a shared destiny. And so astronomy permeates into our daily life, which is nice, and live music is a close connection to that, in my opinion. But we'll have a telescope there, and hopefully at least see Venus very clearly, and you can see the phases of it, which that sometimes is moving. But we'll have some instruments there, and then I'll talk about the club, so it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember one of the first times I ever saw Jupiter through a telescope.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can really see the stripes on the planet. I was like amazed, and you see some of their moons, and it's like, okay, there's some things you can really see, so that's kind of fun for folks.
And most people make an audible sound when they see that with the eye. Oh, wow. It kind of puts things in perspective, and then that same mindset or mindfulness that this common destiny, it can help you with your daily life of keeping things in context. You know, when your feathers get ruffled a little bit, if you keep it in perspective in the big picture, it's been a lot of fun.
And Music Under the Stars is another way for people with their tension relief, just go out there and enjoy an evening of music.
Well, music, to me, it's that way all the time. I mean, that's why playing music all my life it's like a drug. I mean, you have to do it.
I same thing. I have my morning music. I have like music in the car.
Oh yeah, I listen to it all the time. And we're adjusting our start time. We normally would start at 6:30, but we're going to start at 7. So because I forget when sun sets around 8 something.
I think it's 8:04 tonight. I think I just announced it.
Okay. All right, 8:04. So Monday it'll be 8:03 and a half or something. So.
And if anyone hasn't seen Band X, they really need to come out just for that. That they've really gelled together as a team there. They do have one area they need to improve, is they don't do enough drum solos. Monday night, man.
No drum solos. It doesn't. Okay, more drum solos. I'll tell the musical director.
We have a request.
We have been getting requests to play in the village more. We play a lot outside the village, and we'll probably be doing that more next year.
So what can folks expect from tonight, the Music Under the Stars we have coming up?
For the first part, the band itself is, we're so busy, so we're doing some new numbers that night. And then it's the halftime show that I'm really excited about. I mean, I've played all these numbers before, and not that it's bad, but I always look forward to these halftime shows or these intermission shows.
And Clubhouse 2 is a nice venue in a number of ways. It's our most modern clubhouse that was renovated a few years ago, but it has a big drop-down screen.
Okay.
So we'll have some imagery going, and then I'll present a few slides during halftime about some of the bigger picture type stuff.
What are the things that people don't realize about astronomy? Like I never knew this. What are some of the common things you get when you first introduce people to this concept of looking up and just kind of discovering what's out there?
We're just talking about that.
It varies a lot. I think a major one is to try and digest how long it's taken for us to get to where we are right now. That we have iron. Every hemoglobin in your blood supply has an iron molecule. Well, that thing took 5 billion years to incubate in a previous generation of stars.
Right. So we are stardust. We are golden. We are million-year-old carbon. I mean, that's
it's more than
music and astronomy combining right there.
Yes, exactly. You hit the nail on the head. In fact, I got goosebumps because you can say it, but when you feel it, that we're all 5 billion years old, and we're in this state of this precious moment of time. It makes you feel life is more precious than you might otherwise feel
infectious.
when you think about those times and distances.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that we are literally made of the stuff of the stars and the universe and the Big Bang, and it's all inside of us in some way.
And then another one, people spend a lot of money and go watch NASCAR run around a track at 200 miles an hour. Well, we're all on this planet zooming through space at 67,000 miles an hour. And there's objects and risk in front of us. You want a thrilling ride, think about that for a while. So it didn't make the initial showing, but the 1968 Apollo 8 went up, and you might have heard of Earthrise, when they were circling the moon and they saw the Earth come up. That's apparently the most viewed picture, and they say arguably the most social changing image ever, but that's the kind of thing that we try to promote. And you don't have to have a technical background. Most of our membership is varying backgrounds
just
and walks of
amateurs
life.
enjoying it, right?
All this and more Monday.
Yes, for sure. You guys also have a couple things I want to hit on real quick. We've got to wrap things up. Fedora Friday nights.
That's tonight for Band X.
And then we got Coach House coming up on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Terrific.
And then Monday we're doing
Monday we got the Under the
Astronomy
Stars
Club.
Make sure
I'm looking forward
to
to
be
it.
there. Bill and Joe, thank you so much for being here. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Okay, folks. I want to do a quick check on the Friday movie. We got the Friday movie coming up. That should be a great one. It's The American President, and that's brought to us by Pacific Financial Planners. That is a great one with Michael Douglas and Annette Bening in there. A great, fun story. And real quick check on the weather before we go. It's been sunny. It's going to stay sunny. If you like hot, you're going to love the rest of the week. This Saturday, it's going to be in the 80s. Sunday, it's also in the 80s. Really, everything for the rest of the week, folks. It's going to be very, very warm, very, very hot. Enjoy it. Make sure you are staying air conditioned. Bring the water with you wherever you go out. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. You can watch This Day at 9 a.m., 12:30, and 5 o'clock right here on Village Television. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From a delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
Living and learning in Laguna Woods Village is a unique experience. For over 45 years, the Emeritus Institute has provided tuition-free college classes within your community. Join us to experience expert faculty, quality academics, and to make friends through the Emeritus Institute. New classes start every semester, and you can join nearly any time. Visit us anytime at saddleback.edu/emeritus. Learn, live, and thrive with the Emeritus Institute.
At Healing Hearts Emergency Animal Hospital, we are dedicated to emergency veterinary care through high-quality veterinary services and compassion. We offer state-of-the-art diagnostics at competitive pricing. Our doctors will see and care for dogs, cats, and most exotics. In case of emergency, rest assured Healing Hearts Emergency is here for you when your primary veterinarian is closed. Open nights, weekends, and all major holidays.